Wondering what life is really like on Canada's wild and crazy West Coast? This podcast is all about the people, the places, and Vancouver Island time. Together, we'll explore this island paradise, a combination of ocean, city, and country living. We'll meet the fabulous locals such as the Fudge Fairy and the Chicken Lady, who have chosen Victoria and Vancouver Island as their home. And we'll learn what makes this place unique and special to those who live here. And now, your host of Vancouver Island Time, Jane Johnston.
Hi everybody, it's Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun and host of Vancouver Island Time. I'm here with Sheila Nyquist, who is the owner of New Branch Media, and she is also going to be talking to us today about living in Shawnigan Lake and Langford. So when did you move out to the island?
A year ago exactly, so it was October 2017. I moved from Calgary, Alberta.
And how was the transition for you?
It was fantastic. I knew winter was coming and I moved to the lake and, there was 2 weeks of snow around Christmas time and then it was gone. I was like, wow, I have just found heaven.
I remember when I moved here in 99, I thought, when's winter? When's winter? I don't think we even had snow.
I know. Yeah. And people were complaining and I'm like, bring on the rain. I'll take it over snow any day. Yeah.
What made you decide to move to Shawnigan Lake?
Well, as you know, the rental market is pretty tight right now. And so I just started looking actually on Kijiji and I found this cute little cabin that popped up. And I thought, what are the chances? And I phoned her right away and she had like 12 people applying for this one cabin because it was right on the water on the south end of the lake. And I guess she was impressed with us. So within a month we were there.
How did you find, because Shawnigan Lake is about 20 minutes northwest of Langford, where we are now. So it's about 40 minutes from downtown. How did you find the transition from Calgary, which is a fairly big city, to kind of the country?
I found it was really quiet in a good way. Yeah, so at night, there's no traffic noise. It was very peaceful in the morning, waking up and looking at the water. And I felt like I was at a retreat. I thought this is, a perfect transition, giving some space and time away from the city of Calgary and transitioning to the island. It was just the perfect place to do that.
So during the summer, Shawnigan Lake is quite a popular place to hang out. What about boat traffic? I know I've been up there actually for regattas and stuff. So what about boat traffic?
Well, unfortunately, I didn't get to experience that because a lot of the rentals on the lake are short term. So the owners will take them back over the summer months. And so it was at that point I had to find something else in June. So we were there right up until the end of June, and it was warm enough in June actually to take a couple dips in the lake before we left.
Did you find it active on the lake then?
Not bad at all. No, I mean, there were oftentimes in the morning you'd see kids from the private school at the other end of the lake and they would be doing their rowing practice. So you'd see the rowers come up in the morning and other than that, and the odd person on their ski-doo around. Sea-doo, sorry, yeah, ski-doo. That's I wouldn't be very, very good with it on their sea-doo. But other than that, I didn't see much else happening on the lake other than, the odd fish jumping and the eagle flying and fishing in front of us. Yeah.
I know it is a pretty special place. And actually, relatively speaking now compared to Toronto where I'm from and the proximity and how close it is. Like there are people who commute from up there. They come over the Malahat or they can actually go around the Malahat. Did you find the drive disturbing at all?
No, I love the drive, actually. I mean, coming from downtown Calgary where you can drive in traffic for half an hour easily to get halfway across the city, to do a half-hour commute on this island with the views that you get, it's not a problem at all. It's very enjoyable. Yeah.
And what about, so the Malahat's kind of known to be foggy though, and it does get different weather. Part of that is because of the height of the road and the angle of the road. Did you find the road hard?
No, not until there was an accident. and occasionally it does get blocked, so that I have run into an issue trying to get one way or the other and being stuck on the one side. So I feel for people who are on the way to the airport or trying to catch a ferry and unfortunately are going to miss it because the road's blocked for, we're not even talking a couple of hours. It's more of like 8 or 10 or 12 hours depending on the accident. So that is definitely something to consider depending on which side you're wanting to live on.
Right. Yeah. So to get up there, actually, there's two ways. One is through the ferry from Brentwood Bay, and the other is on the highway. And sometimes you can, as I said, go around, but generally the accidents are happening when you're already committed to a road, right?
Yes. Yeah. Usually, I think it happens in the Goldstream area, typically.
Okay, so let's move on to places to eat and drink around there.
Well, you would be surprised, but there is actually a Thai restaurant in Shawnigan Lake. Yeah, they opened up a few months ago. Awesome, authentic food. The owners are, well, one of them is Thai and one of them is Canadian. And we were there on the opening night, which was really cool. So yeah, you've got Thai food. There's a fish and chip place. There's a sushi place. And it's not huge. We're not, it's a cute little town, but there are definitely some gems there.
There are four corners.
Four corners?
Well, I mean, four corners to the downtown.
Oh, yes. Or 3.
That's about it, right?
One's a lake, so yeah. Yeah.
I often go to the corner store there. They have a Chinese food place.
Oh, right. Yeah. There is a place there. Yeah. And there's an awesome coffee shop. Shawnigan House. That's it. Yeah. Great. And it's located right next to a chocolate shop. So you can get your, nice little chocolates and baked goods and then head next door for a good coffee.
Do you ever go down into Mill Bay?
All the time. Yeah.
And where did you eat down there?
Bridgman's Bistro. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a beautiful spot right over the water. It's one of the few places you can actually eat on the water. On the island here on this coast. So yeah, it's a great spot to go.
I have a great photo actually because there's a marina just south of there. Mm-hmm. So I have a great shot of the sunset and the pink sky.
It's such a nice place to go, even if you're going to go for a glass of wine and sit at the bar and there's just windows all around you and it's a peaceful, quiet spot.
How's the transition for your business been?
It's been great. Yeah, I think it's surprising how many entrepreneurs there are on the island. I had no idea. It's been a number of years since I've lived here. I actually left in high school. So, to come back and see the development here is unbelievable. And there's definitely a great energy here. There's great passion and of entrepreneurs and all kinds of different businesses, not to mention wineries. Like, who knew there were so many wineries here?
Well, you left before you were of age to drink.
Yes, this is true.
Do you find though, like I found when I moved here, like the difference between living in a big city and living on Vancouver Island is in a big city, you get a job and then, your job ends at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Here, there are a lot of entrepreneurs because people cobble together a number of jobs.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. And I've met a lot of people who've moved here from Vancouver, for example. They've finished a career and now they've bought a winery or they're starting up an art studio or, they're finding things to make it work because they value the lifestyle. And, at this point in my life, that's exactly how I feel. I appreciate being able to go on the trails, 5 minutes from my house. I'm on a trail. I'm in the woods. I'm in nature. And it's all around you. That's what's so great about Langford is that you've got Goldstream Park. You've got Thetis Lake close by. I just discovered Mount Well, which is close to here. And the Great Trail, the Trans-Canada Trail goes by here. You've got Galloping Goose. You can head down to Souk and be on the ocean on the west coast. Like, it's all in such close proximity that you can easily integrate, your passion, your lifestyle with your work.
How was the transition from Shawnigan Lake to Langford?
Awesome.
There are a lot of great restaurants around here.
Oh, there are, including one right downstairs. There's so much at your fingertips here. Like within a block, you've got all the amenities that you could want. And one of the things I was missing when I was living in Shawnigan is the gym. And here they've got a beautiful Y that opened up, I think, within the last year or two. And it's got a big pool. And, you know, it's literally 5 minutes from where I'm living. So I love that you have everything you need right here.
And you're you're also within walking distance to groceries, Starbucks, Brown Social House, and all those essentials of life.
Yes, this is true. Yeah, I do walk a lot, and I actually commute running sometimes to the gym. Yeah.
So one of the things that people have a difficulty with living in the West Shore, this is what this area is called. It's a combination of Colwood and Langford and View Royal. Do you find the commute downtown a pain?
Well, I can't say that I go every day during rush hour, so I manage to avoid rush hour when I can, and I don't find it's a problem at all. If you GPS, you know, typically when I GPS a place to go in Victoria, it's 20 to 25 minutes, and that's not bad at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't found it. For me, what I do is I plan my day going in either before or after the traffic, and then last night I did get stuck in the traffic, and I texted one of my clients, and I'm like, okay, I see what you mean, because I've been avoiding it for years successfully. So you can do it. Mm-hmm. What about the demographics of the area in Langford?
It's quite wide. Like in the area where I'm living, I noticed a lot of families, and in this building in particular, there are a lot of young people moving here. The university is close by, Royal Roads University. So it's just a wide demographic.
Plus, there's been an increase in rental, so it's easier to find one.
Yes, definitely. You know, I would have loved to stay in Cowichan Valley, but there was nothing available. And here you can see the development happening. There's new apartment buildings specifically dedicated to pet-friendly apartment buildings, which is great if you have a cat like I do. And so there's definitely a lot of choice, and it's a little less expensive than Victoria, I would say.
So for a one bedroom, how much?
A one bedroom is anywhere in the range of $1,300 to $1,500.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
which is shocking. I mean, that's about Calgary prices. Yeah.
Unless you want to live in somebody's basement.
Of course. You might get a better deal.
So what do you do for fun, entertainment?
Let me see. Well, my idea of fun might not be the same as everybody else, but I did join a running group, and we meet at Thetis Lake every Saturday morning and go for a run through the trails. And for me, that's like the highlight of my week. I love doing that. Yeah.
How did you meet up with them?
I think I just Googled them. And, actually, no, I think I went to a running store in Victoria, and they told me about some different groups that I could get involved in. So I checked them out, and yeah, they're a great group.
Do you find Victoria accepting of people from out of town?
As long as you don't tell them you're from Alberta. I'm kidding. I didn't get any flack for that. But no, I mean, I find a lot of people are from other places here. Yeah.
Yeah, I find actually a lot of people from Winnipeg, Toronto, Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary.
Yeah.
Did you, are you finding those people who are from away, are they young or are they older? I'm just saying this because people are going to be, trying to decide if they want to move to Victoria. How has it been that way for you?
Well, back in the day, people used to say this was a place to retire, and so it was full of retired people, but that's totally not the sense I get now. I think there are a lot of young people here and a lot of young people moving here.
I think we have a big white-collar industry compared to what we used to.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially in the software and hardware sector, more software sector.
Yeah, if you look at, what's that group downtown Victoria? I forget.
Techtoria?
Yes, Techtoria. And if you get on their newsletter, you'll see how many opportunities there are, like employment opportunities every month. A huge long list of companies looking for workers.
So if you were to move to Victoria again, ideal place that you would choose to live?
If I were to move downtown Victoria?
No, just in from Calgary again and make your decision.
It would, I think I would choose Langford. Yeah. It's close enough to the city, but not right in the city. And it's close to the mountains and the trails. And that's what I appreciate. Yeah.
Huh, cool. Okay, so if you want more information about Langford, feel free to give me a call. I'm Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun and host of Vancouver Island Time. We are looking for guests for our show, so please check us out. We're on VancouverIslandTime.com. We're also on Facebook as Vancouver Island Time, and you can find us on your favorite podcasting channel. So just do a search for us. And visit our website. At the bottom, there is click on Be a Guest. And we'd love to have you and find out about where you live on Vancouver Island and what you think of it. Take care. Have a great day. And we'll be back. Sheila's going to be talking to us about her business. Bye.
Vancouver Island Time is brought to you by the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun, Victoria, where we bring local expertise and global presence to your property.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back. It's Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun and host of Vancouver Island Time. I am here with Sheila Nyquist with newbranchmedia.ca. So tell me, what is New Branch Media?
New Branch Media is a video production company that specializes in video marketing for small to medium-sized businesses.
And how long have you been doing that?
6 years.
What made you get into that industry?
Well, I have a background in journalism, so I started off as a print reporter for a newspaper in Thompson, Manitoba, and from there I moved to Lethbridge to work for Shaw TV. So I used to be a host of Shaw TV, which is a local news show, and from there I moved to Calgary, where I did that for a year, and then decided it was time to do something on my own. So I stepped out and I started New Branch Media.
And so you were working in New Branch Media for 5 years, and then you moved out here and you carried that business out.
That's right. Yeah.
Are you working with people still in Calgary?
Yes, I do have some clients. So I will, it's only a 1 hour flight or a short 16-hour drive with the ferry. And I love keeping in touch with the scene in Calgary and going back to see my clients there once in a while.
Same clientele type here as there?
Now, I would say yes. In the beginning, I did work with some clients in the oil and gas industry, doing internal communications for them, as well as doing the marketing videos for smaller businesses.
So who's your ideal client?
My ideal client is, I would say, a coach or a healer or a solopreneur who is really wanting to to help people and heal them and help them excel and be better at what they do. And I find a lot of times exactly the techniques they use are hard to describe. So when they can have a video that showcases their work and lets people feel, the energy of it and the potential that they provide, that's the work that fires me up.
And so is it a short video, long video?
It depends. Good answer, hey? It depends. Now, typically, this is a question a lot of people ask all the time. Well, how long should a video be? And I would say like 2 minutes or less. And that's really where the difficulty can come in when you have so much information you want to share. And how do you do that in 2 minutes and tell it in a story and be engaging and capture people's attention within 7 seconds? Because if you don't capture it within 7 seconds, they're going to be onto something else. So there's a lot that goes into creating a video that's going to engage the audience in the way you want.
It's almost like an advertorial, right?
It is. Yeah, it is an advertorial. And I like to say the real power of video lies in its authenticity. And if you can create that authentic message and be yourself on camera, then that's when you're really going to engage with your audience. So I know a lot of people are getting into the video sphere these days to market themselves and are creating commercials, fancy video, fancy aerial shots with music and graphics. And at the end of it, you're like, wow, that's cool. And like, what are you about, right? What's your story? And I think when you can combine the story with the video, that's when you're really going to capture people's attention.
That's so interesting because obviously I'm doing a lot of video, and it took me a long time to come up with the concept because I wanted to promote business, but I also wanted to promote real estate. And it evolved into this. Honestly, it was just like in December last year. Oh yeah, I could do them both. And I find like it's a great promotional way because I'm just engaging in regular conversation and maybe adding a little levity to people's lives, right? It's not professional, but it's fun.
Yeah. And you're providing value, some great information that people will appreciate.
So do you find like people initially come in with a misconception, and then you have to train them to produce sort of this short vignette?
Yes and no. Yes, I think sometimes people do have an idea of what it's about, and a lot of times they don't. A lot of times they're getting a new website built, for example, and their web developer says, yeah, you need a video. And so then they call you like, yeah, I need a video. And they have no idea what to do. They just know they need a video. So at that point, there's a lot of education into like, who's your audience? What's your message? You know, what are you trying to achieve with this video before you go ahead and make a video, right?
Is it usually when a webmaster is saying that, are they saying we want you to have a welcome video?
Yes, you could call it a welcome video, promotional video, a video for your landing page that talks about your business. Yeah, because if you have that, then you're going to have more viewers coming to your website. So they're hoping to increase your SEO for you.
What about, so where should people be putting their video?
Well, there's so many places, definitely on your website, but also on your social media channels. Also, you could send it out in emails specific to the client or the prospect that you're hoping to reach.
So have you ever heard of BombBomb?
Yes, I have. I have received a BombBomb, actually, a BombBomb video. I thought it was brilliant. I love that idea.
So you actually, what's great about it is it doesn't matter what the length of the video is. It just gives you the link and then it sends it to the person and it comes up and it says play, whatever, a minute 30 or however long the video is.
Yeah, and it's such a personal email is what it is. So you get to see the person talking instead of just reading an email. Here they are addressing you and adding a little of their personality to their message. It's great.
I have one client in particular who I really want to interview, but that person is afraid of video.
Oh, yes.
What is that all about?
What is it? Well, it's intimidating. I mean, for a lot of people, especially of a certain generation. So the young people coming up these days have no problem. My little nephew was making his own YouTube channel at like 8 years old. But for most of us who didn't grow up in front of a camera, it can be really intimidating. It's just awkward. And there's a whole other level of fear that comes from putting yourself out there. It's literally, you feel like you're putting yourself on this huge stage in front of the world. And that's a lot to think about.
But they're already on social media.
Yeah, but it's not video.
I find, so one of the things I'm trying to do right now, it's not about me, it's just about Victoria, as I do these little 1-minute videos. And I get 3,000 or 4,000 people watching them.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah, just showing like a panorama.
Wow. Yeah, it's so much more engaging than a photo can be, I think. Definitely. Because people feel like they're there with you, right? Yeah.
Usually what I try and do is if something's moving, I'm trying to track that thing moving.
With a steady hand.
Yes, I'm learning that. I have a gimbal, but I'm not very good at using it yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, take some practice.
I didn't realize you have to program the thing. Anyway, okay. So from start to finish, the process of helping somebody get a video online.
Well, from start to finish, we would talk about what you're trying to achieve, who you're speaking to, what your goal is, and maybe it's one video, but maybe it's a series of videos. I think it's nowadays it's not just one video that's going to do it for you. It's being in front of your clients on a constant basis. So instead of writing all those blogs, do a video blog, and that's going to be that much more engaging for your audience. And instead of your written testimonial, get your video testimonial done. If you're hosting an event, don't just take pictures, get a video done so people can feel the energy of what it's like to be at that event and why they want to be there next year if they missed it, right? So there's so many ways that you can incorporate video into your marketing.
I find the one thing is the planning. That's where people are falling down.
Yeah, it does take some planning. It definitely takes some time to prepare. Whether you're doing your video blogs, it's not like you can go on and ramble on. I mean, there's a certain formula that you should follow and keep it within a certain time limit and keep them consistent and looking the same each video blog, for example. So yeah, it does take some planning, but it's worth it. And it's going back to the whole fear factor, it doesn't have to be scary. It can be a really fun process. And I think the more fun you make it, the more authentic you'll come across on camera and the more engaging you'll be.
Yeah, we keep all our bloopers, unfortunately.
I saw that. We did that on TV all the time too. And at the end of the year, we would watch our blooper reel and it's so much fun.
It is fun because you see what's really going on behind the scenes.
Yes. Yeah. People have no idea till you try to make it yourself, right? And then you're like, holy man, there's a lot that actually goes into this.
At the same time, there's not a lot, right? Like I'm sitting here with a phone and
I mean, technology these days, it's unbelievable. Yeah, we're so lucky to have this technology.
So you do education with people?
Yes, education and coaching as well. How to be your best on camera, how to get over that fear, and some different tricks that you can do to present yourself well on camera. Because that's also a skill, isn't it, that you develop?
Well, I've been noticing how perfectly angled your head is. And I'm like looking at you at 90 degrees to the camera and I'm watching. I'm like, she's at 45 degrees.
We don't want the nose shots, Jane. Now, ideally, you would have a camera person here who's going, back and forth. But, this works, right?
Well, we can edit you and me in.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
So this is stuff we're learning as we go along. We don't care about being perfect.
No, we don't. We don't want to be perfect. We want to be real. Yeah.
So cost of your courses.
Cost of my courses.
So you have one coming up. What's that one?
I have a workshop coming up. It's a full day and I believe it's $197. So I'll be doing more of those workshops. They're introductory workshops to give you just a little bit of information and some tips and tricks on how to do your own videos like you're doing, as well as some real hands-on experience of creating your own videos. Yeah.
Do you do any editing, like editing coaching? How to edit a video?
You can talk to me after about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I find
there's so many different programs, right? So unless you're using the same program as I do, I'm not going to learn a whole other editing software to teach somebody. But I mean, there are a lot of
strategies.
Yeah. I mean, there's basic video editing that I think is what most people would be doing. And yeah, then that's pretty simple.
I've been because I do a lot of video, I've been learning to edit on my phone, and then, my assistant's been editing as well. So it's been just interesting to see what I can do. Obviously the phone is more limited, but just the strategies of the angle, of zooming in for the point and switching over. And
yeah, and there are a lot of tricks, and this is something I learned in journalism school way back when. So, getting a variety of shots, whether you're getting a wide shot or a medium shot or a close up, and making sure you're mixing those up. So then when it comes to the editing stage, you have some good opportunity to make those clean edits, professional looking.
Yeah, and also when you're talking, to add the pause to make it easy to edit.
Right.
Right.
And at the end, to stay looking at the camera for a few seconds when you do your sign off.
Right.
You're getting the hang of it.
You know what? I just enjoy it. But mostly what I enjoy is just meeting people. I actually don't watch the video after it's done.
Really? What? Why not?
I don't know. It's kind of like when I was a teacher and marking somebody's test. I just consider, okay, the moment's passed. I don't need to go back and revisit.
Yeah, this is, I mean, you're doing them all the time. You're doing so many of them, but once in a while, I would recommend you go and watch yourself, because I remember the first few times I saw myself on video and I cringed because I would do these like weird things with my eyebrow, or, you know, there's certain things that you do without realizing it. And it's not until you watch yourself on camera that you catch them and you can make those modifications, because what if it's something that's really irritating? Like, I don't know. So you want to make sure you take care of that.
Thank you, Sheila, for having us today. If you're interested in learning more about what Sheila does, you can go to newbranchmedia.ca, or you can visit us at vancouverislandtime.com, and the information will be on there. Also, if you want to follow us, please do so on Facebook at Vancouver Island Time. We are also on LinkedIn, Twitter, iTunes, and any podcast which you favor. All right, have a great day, and we'll see you next week on Vancouver Island Time. Bye.
Welcome to the neighborhood. We hope you have had some insight into West Coast living. If you know of someone or someplace that should be highlighted in our podcast, we love to hear from you. Please go to vancouverislandtime.com and click on our Connect button. See you next week on Vancouver Island Time with Jane Johnston.